Bonjour mes amis, hi guys. I want to talk about a subject that's a bit difficult to frame. I'm not even sure what I'm gonna call this video to really explain what I'm trying to say. It's all about selling watches, but it's a bit more nuanced than that. In my collection, I have watches that are definite keepers. Watches that I've wanted for a long time, that suit my wrist perfectly, suit my lifestyle, my the sense of aesthetic, what I like to see on my wrist, and that perform amazingly. For example, this Wimbledon dial Rolex. This one is probably a keeper for life. I just love everything about it, and I have a box of watches that are like that, and sometimes it's just when I saw them, I knew it was a perfection. For example, this Grand Seiko, I love the case. The whole presentation is gorgeous. It's unique in the watch world. It's unique in the movement, and it's the pinnacle of what the brand can offer. I don't know if they will top it. Even comes with a great bracelet. Just everything that I love, and it's so different from anything else that anybody can make. It's even more special for me than the Rolex. Of course, my 39mm Explorer, just a fantastic watch that I got to buy myself at the AD, and I got two Pateks, the recently acquired 6006. Wears amazing. I love all the presentation, and front and back, of course. Every time I wear it, I make sure to look at the back and remember that it is very special at the back. The caliber 240. Those are watches that I bought when I had the right opportunity. Sometimes you want them and you can't find them, and those will always be with me. The video is not about these watches. It's about the watches that I could sell. I like all the watches that I've bought, but some watches that I just didn't like much after a while, and I sold without any remorse. And that's pretty much all gone from my collection. Just a couple of low-end pieces left. But then there's some watches in my collection that I find I don't wear a lot, and yet I love to photograph them. I love to look at them. I love what they do, what they represent sometimes. For example, we have a Zenith Chronomaster T. There's just nothing like this on the market. There's no competition for a high beat chronograph, column wheel, very smooth, with the full calendar, with a great size. There's just nothing on the market, especially at the kind of prices that these are trading at, around $4,000 or $5,000 here, with the full set, with a beautiful handmade Cordovan strap. Just a super special piece, and yet there's sometimes one detail in a watch that sort of makes it that you don't wear it so much. It's hard to put your finger on it. In a way, what's great about this watch is the classic sort of look that it evokes, and at the same time, it's maybe what makes me want to wear it less. It looks a bit late 90s, which is where it's from. It's from 1999, and the watches from that period I find are great collectibles, not necessarily watches that I want to wear. And it's something you have to remember. You might feel the same about some of your watches. It doesn't mean you should sell them, right? Because collecting is not wearing. It's different, right? You can happily collect something, enjoying the ownership of it. But when it comes to watches, I'm one of those guys that kind of feel like he has to wear them, and if he's not, he should consider selling them. And so, coming to the crux of the problem, the video, is that I'm not going to give it away, because it's been important to me. I've cherished it, I've taken care of it, I had it serviced, make sure it runs regularly, runs on time, and it's perfectly within chronometer spec still now, which is a feat after 24 years. So I've tentatively put it for sale. Some people were asking me in the comments, hey, which watches are you selling? It's hard to find the right medium. Also, shipping abroad when there's a big box and all that, and a higher value than what can be insured by DHL. I never use FedEx. DHL is my go-to. or the simple post office here is very good as well. Yeah, and I usually sell them locally, and if I can find a local buyer, it's great. Of course, it's a big wide world, and I might have just because of the currency movements, but the Hong Kong dollar is pegged to the US dollar, which is a fine currency at the moment. Yeah, you might find a buyer on the other side of the world, mainly in the US, but I prefer to sell locally, and locally the market has been quite slow. And so, I've received low offers for it, but I tell them, if you can find one for that price, go ahead and purchase it. If you find one in the same condition that runs well, that can be guaranteed, go for it. Of course, you buy the seller, and more power to you if you can find at a better price. It's not a watch that I want to give away at a low price just to get a bit of money. It's not a high value watch. It's not a cheap watch either, but it's a fine watch, and I think it's an undervalued watch for what it does, and just the fact that it has no competition is the reason why I don't want to let it go, really, even if I don't wear it often. But when I wear it, it's always very special, and I look at my wrist, I'm like, wow, man, it catches the light amazingly, and it looks like nothing else. It does like nothing else. So yeah, if you're in Hong Kong, you can always reach out to me, upticwr@gmail.com. But if you look for a very cheap deal, it's not gonna be it. So I think, yeah, what I want to express is that I'm trying to be a collector, right? But I have limited means, so I can't really collect as much as I want. And because I've bought other watches, I have to do sort of an arbitrage, right, and decide. What I tell to myself is, okay, this is my favorite chronograph. It was very expensive, so selling this allows me to keep the one I love the most. I have a great story of the purchase, and it just fits me better, and I want to wear it more than this one. So maybe putting these together makes you understand a bit more the reason why I would sell it if I find the right buyer. And often finding the right buyer makes me happy. If it goes to a good house, sometimes even if it's a bit at a lower price than I wanted, but if I know the guy really loves it, I will sell it. In my collection, I also have sort of spur of the moment purchases. Very cool watch like this regulator, Louis Erard, collectible, of course, and sold out very quickly. Look, if I keep it forever, it's great, but I think at 4,000 euros, something like in that vein, it is quite expensive for what it is. At the same time, it is quite unique. Towed leather, by the way, very fun, very cool, but very much of the moment, of the era, and yeah, it sells. It's funny, people put those on put listings for those, hoping to double their money, get 50%. Look, if I can resell pretty much what I paid to someone who's enthusiastic about it, I'm happy to do it, just because, end of the year, people have to pay their taxes, including me. So 4,000 here, 4,000 there, it starts to count. So watches that I enjoy a lot, but it's not maybe forever keeper. If I can afford it, yes. If I can't afford it, then you have to make a bit of a tough choice. And sometimes, as I'm selling a watch, it's a bit of a tough time. Like Rise, I got the first World Timer Green from Omega. Really enjoy the buying process, enjoy the watch, went on holiday with it. It's still mint condition, and actually Omega, my salesperson told me she hasn't received another one since then. But the problem with this one is that it's a lot of money, right? It's almost 11,000 US dollars, so a bit tough to keep. If it's not one that I'm gonna wear constantly every week. And the problem is, it is a bit of a collector. Who knows in 20 years how we will look back, but at those watches. But watches that don't have hand finishing, that are all mostly machine made, lasered, and all that, as beautiful as they are, I value them a bit less than the Pateks, of course, and that kind of money can go maybe in my purchase of a Patek someday. So it is something that I would regret. I would let go, but at the same time, as difficult, and it's funny with Omega is that there is actually a wait list for these customers happy to pay the retail, but at the same time reselling it is difficult. With Omega, either people want to have it brand new at the boutique, or they expect a huge discount. There's no in between, even if the watch is unworn or mint condition. Very different from Rolex. That market. What else? Yeah, the Longines Legend Diver. It has a huge box, and it's becoming an issue for me to store that huge box. Simple as that. Very cool watch, but very round. You know, you're gonna tell me all my watches are round mostly, but it just wears very big and round. I don't really wear it, but again, it's the first one they made, getting collectible, a bit less because they make other ones. They're gonna make a 40mm apparently, and everything else, different colors, different flavors. Again, I could not get a good price for it, but it's on sale here locally in Hong Kong. I'm using the Carousel app. Another fantastic watch I bought. I got two Zins, a chronograph, and this one really so comfortable, beautiful. It's again 3,500–4,000 euros. It adds up, right? And sometimes I just justify myself selling a perfect watch or putting it for sale if I get a good price. If it allows me down the line to get another heavy hitter to be ready to pounce as the market is coming off for maybe a 5396. I got a 5296 here, perfect watch. Maybe a 5396 white gold. There's one model that I really love, and when you get one of those, you forget a bit about the more entry level pieces. And there's I could go on like these. I wanted to experience how it felt to own a handmade watch, just gorgeous, everything handmade, in and inside and out. This is my Garrick on an Artem strap with a brand new movement. Andreas Streller was consulted for the build of this in-house movement, the first not the first, but the first small size, let's say, in-house movement of Garrick. Everything custom made here, beautiful hand cut, hand filled indices, just something very special. But I found that it's not the one that I want to wear the most. I'm more attracted to other pieces in my collection, and sometimes you don't know why, right? You can appreciate all the elements that form a watch, but on your wrist it just doesn't I don't know, it doesn't have maybe the X factor for you, but it's something that you have to experience and then decide. It's wonderful watchmakers, but yeah, if a collector is interested, they can reach out to me, upticwr@gmail.com. And always more fun to sell to a collector than I would never go to a dealer with something like this. It's just too special. Here I got one of the last ones they sold before discontinuing, that Zin chronograph. I haven't put it for sale. I just enjoying owning it. Sometimes I wear it. It's a beautiful watch, but another $4,000 that's locked in. So at some point it weighs on you, and you're wondering, hey, should I move this watch? This one, very special, a boutique edition Seamaster. I just love taking pictures of it, talking about it. I just don't pick it up over the Patek, and hopefully you can understand why. It's just a bit more special. White gold for the full case here. Here white gold as well, but just the indices, beautiful, the hands and the logo. A very special watch, but it's more machine, right? The movement is the classic Seamaster movement. And I find maybe, okay, you're going a bit too far with this obsession of watches. Maybe I have a good eye and it's an interesting watch, but at the same time, I can't keep everything, especially since I add back to my collection a Datejust 2, which I love, and it shouts, it's loud, and I love this, and I love this watch, and that's what I keep. So you gotta choose, right? There's a reason why I bought all of these, and it's really tough to make a choice and decide. And when it comes to sports watches, I love sports watches, but you can't beat the 116600 Sea Dweller 40 millimeter. It's just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. This is a keeper, unsellable for me. So when I'm thinking, okay, should I keep my Tudors as cool as they are or not, or do I need that money to do something else? Then yeah, the Rolex will always be there to remind me, you have that. Do you need the Tudor, as cool as it is? I love it, but it doesn't wear as well as the Rolex. This one I sought after for a long time, and I got really lucky to meet the right person to be able to acquire it. So cool to own, and yeah, a piece of Konstantin Chaikin, someone that everybody wants a watch from, but in a different way. This one is done here by Barons in Hong Kong, and very limited, very difficult to get. So I hope you know where I'm driving at. There are watches that I think are just perfect. I've longed for a long time for this Chopard World Timer. To me, it's the best World Timer on the market, and I love it. This is one that I got at a great price. You don't have to pay retail. That's also one part of the thing. Watches where I paid retail, I kind of feel a bit bad about it, unless it's something like this, of course. But here I paid almost half the retail, and that's perfect for me. And so I feel good about it, and it's so much that I really wanted, and I love it. And to me, functionally, is the best World Timer, and that's something I could not sell. Really enjoying it. I can't find anything wrong with it. So there you go. Let me know a bit how you feel about this idea of selling if someone gives you the right price, selling if you find the right buyer that deserves that watch that you've collected. Tell me what you think about collecting over wearing. We always talk about. I did a video about it. We're not collectors. I'm not collecting clothes, right? I just have the clothes that I need to wear, even if it's sometimes one tuxedo shirt that I'll wear every 5 years maybe, but I still need to have it. They're all useful things, and I don't wear every day this rectangular watch, but kind of have to have one in the collection. Well, I have two, and they're both very special, but it's not the ones that I wear the most, but you kind of have to have them. And at the same time, both are very collectible. But so that's the double effect. But there's other watches where if it sells, and I'll get over it. I'll just remember that I have more important watches to me in the collection, but they have to sell at the right price. And if they don't, then I'd rather keep them, because I've put time and effort into collecting them. I hope I made sense. Now the tough thing will be to find a title for this this video. All right, guys, let me know what how you guys feel about the subject, if you can figure out what the subject was, and I'll speak to you in the next one. Bye bye.